do it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast.
All right, I'm excited to welcome somebody I have known for a extremely long time. At least it feels that way to me. It might feel less for him. And at one point, I convinced him, I don't know how, to come hang out on a beach for a week and with his wife Brenda, and they did. And but in any way, I would like to introduce somebody who's absolute honor to call a friend, but the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jay Adelson. How the hell are you?
Oh, why, thank you very much for having me, Matt. This is truly, it's not just an honor, it is a pleasure.
Ooh.
And there it is, it's true, we have known each other for a long time, but we keep going, we keep doing weird stuff. I have been doing weird stuff, and you have too for a long time. Although I am impressed, you have stuck to the same weird stuff for quite a while now.
20 years in October.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Definitely never the plan. But
yeah, but when things work, they work, man.
It's something I think a lot about because I now have a 20-year-old, lifestyle business, which only in our circle is that a dirty word, is the thing that I've also figured out. Right? Like, if you don't...
That actually means you've done it right.
Yeah, like, I forget the number, but it's something like, 0.03% of businesses globally are funded with venture. It just so happens that that's our echo chamber. So of those 0.03, 99% are companies that we either interact with or know somebody at or whatever that is. But like, I don't look at my landscaper and be like, why aren't you trying to build a $10 billion landscaping empire? Like, where are you going? Right? Like,
that's exactly it.
And
that's exactly it.
And the analogy I always liked was, I think of venture as rocket fuel. You need it if you're going to the moon. If you put it in your 78 Pinto, it's just going to explode.
It could be rocket fuel. It could also, in many ways, destroy a really great, even big opportunity due to, because venture isn't just about the total addressable market. It's also about size, or speed to market. So if I raised $5 million of venture, or $10 million of venture, and, at Equinix, I think we raised $850 million in venture in like the first 3 years. If I raised $5 or $10 million, I could tell you right now that, yes, so it would really depend on where it came from. And, if I was selling 20% or whatever of my company, or 30% of my company to someone, and they said to me, hey, listen, you've now spent 7 years, whatever, building up, doing product market fit. Really now it's just growth capital. And so what we expect from you is to make this is an alignment where what you would do with this money is what we would expect you to do with this money. And then the outcome in the future, would have to be some kind of liquidation, whether it be an IPO or an exit. The only problem I have with any of that at this stage, right, since we're not an early stage company anymore, is the exit part. Because, and they're like, why? You're a millionaire, it'd be great. Because I love doing this. I love it so much. I love these people, and I love the stories. I've had offers for venture capital and I've turned it down because I don't want to be in a position where I'm not doing my job if I don't sell this business, for a massive profit or return, 5 years from now. So it's an interesting alternative. Now, would I change my mind and whatever? I've had some moments of weakness, like when the Ukraine war started and I was like, okay, I have to go learn React Native, but I've got enough revenue coming into the business now. I think I can kind of now finally get to that point where I'm hiring full-time, tech leads and app developers. I'd love to get a graphic designer.
You don't want to have to be the graphic guy too?
I'm proud of the app.
Yeah.
for what it does, and it's incredible at what it does. I mean, there is no other app that can do what it does.
Yeah.
But I'm also, having seen great UI UX from like experts
Yeah.
over, I'm also a little embarrassed, which is back to what we said.
Somebody recently told me, if you're not embarrassed by what you ship.
It's true. But I have a backlog, of 100 features.
Sure.
That I would love to get out there. I don't have time to design them graphically,
Mm-hmm.
and I certainly am not good at that. But I'm new at this. This is fun. It's like I'm a kid again.
There you go. So that takes me to something I wanted to ask you about. So, are you good at hiring, and why or why not?
When I'm interviewing someone, if I want them to work for me, I'm really good at hiring.
Okay.
I don't do the, Google thing with like, what is it? The Voight Conf test of, hey, a turtle's upside down in the middle of the desert kind of stuff. I look for the person that I want to have culturally and skills wise, and I go for that person. And if the person is interested in any way, I think that the interview goes well and we can close.
Yeah.
I rarely have one of those good conversations and lose the candidate.
It seems like you get confident knowing that, like, once you've found the person, you're able to get them on board and sell them on the vision. But how did you decide that was the person you needed?
It's harder for me for frontline. It's really hard because, I don't speak Python and I don't speak, some of these, a classic example would be, we have a bunch of stuff that needs to be done on the infrastructure, on the back end stuff and orchestration of all that. I don't know the right questions to ask, right? Because I'm getting older and they don't give me enable password anymore. And so in those cases, what I like to do is work with people who are friends like you or, Mikhail Pinchenko or Joe Stump or people I've worked with in the past who have like this really depth of knowledge in that particular area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I filter, sort of pre-qualify these folks through. I think the part that you can't really do ahead of time is that culture fit thing.
Mm.
Right? I've been doing a lot of interviewing lately for executive positions for companies that I'm involved with. And I can use intuition to pick up whether they have the management skills and the communication skills and the leadership skills. But it's really sort of through conversation about non-work related topics that I can kind of pick up more about it. Are they a culture fit? The management stuff, you can kind of tell.
Right.
But when you get into something like, does a guy know how to, migrate, Heroku Docker instance into Cloudflare or Amazon or something. It's like that kind of stuff. Just somebody else knows how to test for that better than me.
What I heard is experience and intuition, having a good network of people you can rely on, lets you figure out if you've got the right soft skills, probably sees the vision, can be part of the vision. And then you have other filters that are do you know how to do the actual day-to-day work?
So in a venture kind of environment, typically the way I would do it is the first thing I would do is I would find what I called the senior director level, who could be a VP. This is just my style. How I like to do it is I would surround myself with these really great sort of junior VPs or close to be chiefs. And I would then empower them to build a team of frontline, which is a little backwards because a lot of times, when you first do your startup, you get your frontline developer and you get this guy, you get that guy. I like to start with somebody who has some of those frontline skills and can kind of in a pinch do it, but they're best used building out the first frontline themselves. So I'm a little abstracted,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you give them that power. And I'm not even a veto
Right.
on those initial hires. And that empowerment's important because they're building trust with their people and you're building trust with them. Now, in this scenario,
In this non-venture environment.
in this sort of smaller business scenario, unfortunately, I'm the only one with the time right now to manage everybody.
Mm.
So, earlier this year when we had, I think, like 7 developers on at the same time, I was managing the sprints, and I'm no Agile Scrum master, but I know enough to inefficiently do it, right? And that's going to still be that way for a little while, but when you got to hire for those folks, that's a challenge. And I can't just like find a great, CTO and say, go,
Sure.
it would be nice. It would be a luxury, and I'm ready for it. But I have to walk before I can run.
All right, Jay, thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. And most of all, thank you always for your friendship.
Oh, you too. And I seriously wouldn't be here without you, and you know it. We'll see you later.
Another round, so much more to talk about. Gonna aim to satisfy with help from CacheFly. Get to it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast. The Anycast podcast, brought to you by CacheFly.